Hey guys, Barry Moore. As many of you know, I'm going to give it a few minutes to let folks get on, but we actually had John Durham in. He had over a 300-page report that we've reviewed, we condensed down, and went through and had hearings this week. Durham agreed to come to Capitol Hill and talk to a committee, and he agreed to talk with the Judiciary, which Jim Jordan chairs. And Mr. Durham gave us 6 hours. We actually spent 6 hours with him earlier this week, just kind of going through the report, asking questions to connect the dots. And I've said all along, we just need the American people to know what's going on. And so today we've got a diagram that actually was used during the committee hearing, and I'm going to have some opportunities that kind of helps me connect the dots for you as the American people so you can understand what happened. The things that we knew, Chairman Jordan and I were actually talking this morning on the floor. I said, Jim, what was your takeaway from Durham coming in? And he said, basically what we thought we now know. So we can connect the dots and say, we knew all along that Russian collusion was a hoax. We actually censored Adam Schiff this week for pushing that narrative out to the American people. He had information that many in Congress didn't have because of certain clearances on the Intel Committee, and then he lied to the American people, so we censored him this week. The Durham report also gave us the information to do that. So there's a couple things I want you to understand, and I think the takeaway, if I don't say it, I'm going to try to say it at the end of this video, but the takeaway is that Hillary Clinton actually colluded with Russia to accuse Donald Trump of colluding with Russia. And I don't know if they were complicit, but I want to think they were not complicit. I think they were active in this fraud, this hoax was the FBI. And even in some ways the DOJ. And so I want to talk a little bit about what happened. So we know now that the Clinton campaign actually paid Christopher Steele for the dossier. And she ran the money through Perkins Coie and through Fusion GPS to Christopher Steele, who produced the dossier. What I found interesting was that the FBI, they moved quickly when they got the dossier. It was so rapid, they only spent 2 days looking at the idea that this could be Russian collusion. And normally there's a review process where you want to collaborate and make sure you verify that the sources and subsources of the information that you're investigating are actually factual. But the FBI moved so rapidly under the direction of Comey and some of the others to go after the Trump campaign, and they never gave him a defensive briefing. Remember now, they gave Clinton campaign defensive briefings on a number of occasions. They never educated the Trump campaign on what was going on, and they used this dossier to issue FISA warrants to actually spy on the Trump campaign. And so that was how they went in and they actually wiretapped the campaign phones, the Trump inside baseball players, if you will. They wiretapped their phones. And that's why Carter Page and those people became front players in the news. But so what we want you to know now is that the FBI actually took information that Charles Dolan, who was former DNC, he worked on the, I think it was the 2008 Clinton presidential campaign. And he provided information to a Russian spy who the FBI was paying $220,000 to collaborate this information and pass along to Christopher Steele. What you're going to find ironic is not only did the Clinton campaign pay for the dossier of Christopher Steele, but the FBI offered Steele $1 million if he would in fact verify any of the information. So you had the Clinton campaign paying for the dossier. You had the Kremlin, Dolan, and Danchenko providing the information to the dossier. And all the information was compiled, and then the FBI used that to spy on the Trump campaign and did not give him any defensive briefings. They wiretapped the campaign, they wiretapped Page, they wiretapped the people around the Trump campaign to go out and basically make a narrative, to force a narrative. But this, to me, the most egregious thing is what I'm about to tell you. To me, out of everything I learned from Dolan, not from Dolan, but from Durham in this report, was that Clapper, the CIA director, knew that the Clinton campaign had been decided to work this plan, this information for this dossier about Russian collusion. And Clapper briefed President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, and Comey, the Director of the FBI, the 4 top leaders in our government, in the Obama administration, on the fact that the Clinton campaign was building this dossier. Comey did not even tell the agents that were investigating the dossier and the Russian collusion that he knew that the Clinton campaign was driving that ship, that they were behind the thing the whole time. So that's what we know. That's the information that you need to know. And we'll be keeping you updated as this thing moves forward. But I think you will continue to understand that this is a corrupt organization. The FBI is corrupt. The CIA was corrupt under Obama's leadership. It's not changed under President Biden. What Christopher Wray is doing to President Trump now. Remember, Chuck Schumer famously said that if the Justice Department wants to get you, they'll come 7 ways from Sunday. This is 7 ways from Sunday. And this is what happened to President Trump. Once he was the President of the United States, they did everything they could to destroy his opportunities to create a better nation, to make this nation great. They weaponized your own Department of Justice, which is supposed to be blind, and they laser focused on Trump and the people around him to basically halt the Trump agenda and the conservatives in this country. Stuff you need to know. We'll keep you updated.